It was 2:47 a.m., the kind of hour where the world feels like it's on pause. The wind outside was unnaturally still, and my only company was the dim glow of my laptop. I was browsing through old files, cleaning out my hard drive, when I stumbled upon a video I don't remember downloading. It was just labeled "Do Not Watch." I've always been a skeptic, never believed in the supernatural, so I clicked play. A grainy image appeared in a dark room, lit by a single flickering candle. At first, nothing happened. I was about to close the window when a whisper filled the room. It wasn't coming from the video, it was behind me. I froze. My apartment was empty, or so I thought. I turned around, heart pounding, but saw nothing. When I looked back at the screen, the candle had gone out, and the whispering grew louder like it was crawling inside my mind. Then I saw it someone or something in the corner of the video, staring directly at the camera. Its eyes were hollow, and its face disfigured, almost as if the skin had been peeled off. The whispering stopped, replaced by a single phrase, "Turn around." My blood ran cold. I slammed the laptop shut, but the whisper continued, louder and closer, as if it was standing just inches from me. The room felt like it was closing in. I bolted from my apartment, but the whisper followed, echoing through the streets, "Turn around. You can't escape." I never watched that video again, but sometimes late at night, I still hear the whisper, and each time it gets closer. So, before this video ends, turn it off, or the curse might follow you too. I didn't sleep that night. Even after I ran as far as I could, found a hotel, and locked myself in a room, the whisper never fully left me. It was faint, almost like the memory of a sound, but it lingered, inescapable. Every time I tried to shut my eyes, I could feel something watching. The next morning, I decided to check my laptop again, thinking maybe it was all a bad dream, a glitch in my mind brought on by exhaustion. But when I opened it, the screen was shattered. Thin cracks ran through the glass, like some unseen force had pressed against it too hard. The file, "Do Not Watch," was gone. I tried to forget. I really did. I deleted everything that reminded me of that night. But strange things kept happening. My phone would ring in the middle of the night with no one on the other end. Lights in my apartment flickered, even after I moved to a new place. And then there were the shadows. At first, they were just at the edge of my vision, moving quickly like someone passing by a window. But soon I started seeing them more clearly, figures standing in corners, always watching, never moving. One night I couldn't take it anymore. I decided to do something insane. I posted about it online, asking if anyone had ever experienced something similar. Most people laughed, told me I was losing my mind. But one reply stood out. It was from someone using an anonymous account. The message was short, but chilling. "You shouldn't have watched it. Now, it's watching you." I contacted the user, desperate for answers, and after days of silence, they finally replied. They said they had seen the video too. And like me, they had thought they were safe. But over time, they learned that it wasn't just about seeing the video. The moment you hear the whisper, the curse is passed on. It's like the entity chooses you. The anonymous user told me there was one way to stop it. You had to find someone else to watch it. That's the only way the curse would leave you alone. But there was a catch. The person you pass it to has to watch it willingly. They have to choose, just like I did, to click play. I realized then what I had to do. I went back into the dark corners of my hard drive and searched for the file. And to my horror, there it was staring back at me. "Do not watch." So hey, erase the thing. I'm telling you this because I need you to understand. I had to tell someone else, share the story, and Hopino, bet that you won't make the same mistake I did. You can still turn off this video. You can still escape. But if you stay, if you listen until the end, there's a chance you might hear the whisper too. And once you do, the curse becomes yours. This is your last warning. Turn it off, or you might hear it start to whisper your name. I waited for a few seconds, expecting the whisper to return, but the room was eerily silent. My heart pounded in my chest as I stared at the screen. What had I done? I told myself I had to stop this. I can't just curse someone else. But the fear, the exhaustion from sleepless nights, the shadows, they had worn me down. I couldn't take it anymore. Then, the lights flickered. It wasn't the first time it had happened, but this time it felt different. The air around me grew colder, and that oppressive, watching feeling crept back into the room. I stood up, backing away from the screen. The shadows in the corner of the room seemed to stretch, elongating like dark tendrils reaching toward me. The whisper returned, soft at first but unmistakable. "You can't run from it." I froze. My breath caught in my throat as I tried to convince myself it was all in my head. But it wasn't. The whisper grew louder, circling me, closing in from every direction. "You let them watch. Now it's coming." Suddenly, my phone buzzed violently on the table. I jumped, heart racing, and grabbed it with trembling hands. It was a message from an unknown number. The message simply said, "You shouldn't have done that." A chill ran down my spine. I dropped the phone, watching as the screen flickered and glitched, distorting the words. And then the power went out. The apartment was plunged into complete darkness. My only source of light was the dim glow of the laptop, still showing the pause video. Suddenly, the screen flickered back to life, but the video had changed. The candle from before was lit again, but this time, the figure in the corner was much closer to the camera. Its hollow eyes seemed to be looking directly at me. And then, the whisper came from the speakers, clear and distinct. "You can't stop it." I slammed the laptop shut, but it didn't matter anymore. The whisper was everywhere now, circling me like a predator stalking its prey. I felt a cold breath on the back of my neck. Slowly, I turned around, heart pounding in my ears. Nothing. No one was there, but I felt it. Something was in the room with me. Suddenly, my phone buzzed again, lighting up the darkness. Another message from the unknown number. "It's here." I backed up against the wall, trying to stay calm, trying to think of a way out. But the shadows in the room seemed to move on their own now, gathering in the corners, creeping closer. I knew what was coming. The same thing that had happened to the others before me, the ones who had watched the video, the ones who had tried to escape the curse. There was no one left to pass it to. I had trapped myself. Then, I heard the door creak open behind me. And the last thing I remember before everything went black was the voice, louder than ever, whispering in my ear, "You were warned."